It's James. I'm going to ramble. This is our new reality. We actually live in a situation where direct communication is getting harder and harder. Okay? Some of that's because of COVID. We don't have access to some of the places that we would normally go to communicate with and interact and network with others. Um, so definitely can't take a client to a bar. Even restaurants limit the amount of seating. And I know people that since March haven't been to their office, even though they're still working. It's changed a lot more. You're seeing people in screens just like this. And it's changed the way we do a lot of things, including the way we work and the way we look for work. And I've been looking for work since July 10th, and I got to tell you, it's maddening. And I don't think everyone's thought this through. So I thought I'd just share a little. I'm very proud of the career that I built since 1988 in the hospitality industry. I managed to claim to the executive level. I was a regional director of operations for 2 states, 58 hotels under me, 10 area managers, um, about 15 business development managers, a facilities manager, a regional facilities manager. I reported directly to the vice president, and I was responsible for interacting with all 58 of those owners, of those managers, of those staffs, making sure that my people got them trained correctly, got them the resources they needed, making sure that their key performance indicators were on track, that the brand standards were on track, the guest satisfaction were on track. In addition to that, I traveled all over the 2 states that I represented, and even into Kansas, to identify hotels that had the potential to be converted into our brand. It was literally my dream job. And it's no one's fault that I don't have it anymore. Not one person, right? The world in general, maybe. And I didn't really worry about it. You know, they put us out on furlough with a limited salary payout and benefits until July 10th. They made the decision not to bring us back from furlough. Got rid of 90% of the corporate operations people in the country. And I still wasn't really worried. They gave us a nice severance package. They gave us they really did take care of us, even stock options. So I mean, as far as losing a job, it's probably the best case scenario. However, what it made me realize was, typically when you lose a job, whether it's for politics or performance, God forbid, or just a place closes or whatever happens, and I know there's many reasons. When you jump back on that horse and you start looking for jobs, there are jobs to look for. What we're finding now is there's over 1 million people in my industry alone, the hospitality industry, that are currently out of work. Marriott, Hilton, my old company have furloughed across the board people all over the country at the corporate level. Now, the hotels were essential, right? Essential workers. So, on the general manager to staff level, some of the hotels have reduced staff because of the reduced revenue being brought in because of reduced travel and travel restrictions state to state, canceled events, and it's sports. I mean, everything that's been canceled has affected us. So, by and large, these hotels are working on a minimum staff, maybe 30 to 60% of the normal staff. And everyone's having to work harder, and they don't have the infrastructure to support at the back end, which is what my team would provide. So it's definitely a situation where way too few people are trying to do way too much, and the travelers, in my experience, aren't respecting that. I hear complaints about grab and go breakfast where the state doesn't has mandated that you can't serve a buffet breakfast. It's affected those people a lot. But think of all the million people that don't have a job. With these reduced labor models and hotels literally shuttering, I know of on myself personally 20 hotels that shuttered after March, shut their doors, maybe to never reopen again. You've got a million people responding to a couple thousand jobs. And when you hit a certain level, not just my level, but even my own team, the area managers, they're having a really hard time finding a job within the industry that pays what they survive on, and they're just not getting their foot in the door. And I'm seeing it too. I mean, I've had some really great leads, and I've turned down a couple jobs, and I got a couple more in the pipeline. But it's not anything. I used to be able to tell my staff, and some of you who worked for me will remember this, I don't have to apply for jobs. Jobs apply for me. And that used to be the case. I've got 3 recruiters that I use regularly. All 3 of them are looking for positions at my level. Not a single one of them in the last 2 months has come up with one single option. So it's a weird reality. And what people are having to do is jump into other industries. And that could be scary. I mean, I've done this for 30 years. So I don't necessarily know any other area I could jump into. Or I do. I mean, a lot of it translates, but you have to think outside the box to do that. And it doesn't help that as soon as you sign up with a job board or something, you get all of these pow, pow. And I'm not going to call them scams, but jobs. They're not actual jobs. They're commission-based sales jobs for insurance. Something like that. I've literally been actively recruited 5 times in the last 2 months with people wanting to work for them. No paid trading. You have to get a certification, and it's commission only. I don't understand that. I could literally work at McDonald's and do better than that at first, at least. And I know there are some people that succeed very well in it. But I'm saying when you're used to working for a regular paycheck, the irregularities of a commission-only scenario can be really scary. So I guess what I'm saying to you is, I know I'm stressed. I'm hoping that you're not stressed. And I'm hoping that we just keep plugging away and we find something. And if you can't find something in what you've been doing for the last 10 years, find something else. Good luck to all you guys. God bless. I'll talk to you soon.